Voices of the Prism, published 25th of June for £5.99 Kindle edition. An anthology of 9 stories across 4 genres, with the only connection being that all authors have, at one point, lived in Rhode Island, US. Beginning with the fantasy stories, Holding Out for a Hero features Squire Pavel missing quest assignment, leaving himself and his hero with a day free of monster hunting, but not peril, as Pavel deals with his unexpressed affection for his hero, and the appearance of a threat. The concept is well executed within the limited format of a short story. I very much appreciated the climactic battle, reminding me of the wordplay from Smaug and Bilbo. Out of all the stories present, this one is most suited to the full novella treatment, and has great potential. Thoroughly enjoyed. Gardens Gone, set within a fantastical version of modern life. There, witches are all too real. Mira and her mother flee from their rural home into the city, hoping to conceal their nature and avoid the persecution witches suffer. Marmite, you either love it or hate it. Personally, I generally struggle with stories that reflect persecutions of minorities in our real world, when the fantastical equivalent are unequivocally dangerous in the extreme. The witches in this story are persecuted, but that's due to their ability to cause strokes with thought alone. In settings such as this, I sympathize more with the hunters than the prey. What's Easier, a contemporary story dealing with a student returning to where he grew up, reconnecting with his now distant community and further changing friends. LGBTQ themes throughout. Brief and enjoyable, a great example of positive representation. The Blue Jay Journal, an examination of loss through journal entries of a fictional character dealing with the death of her wife. A thoughtful story with pleasant ending, a novel concept executed extremely well. Ends, a sci-fi story with light capitalist critique. The book sets out to create a corporate world devoid of colour and feeling, and succeeds tremendously, almost too well. Within the world set out, it makes sense the characters would be distant from one another, and personal interactions limited. The plotting through this homogeneous world is executed well, however, as a story it wasn't enjoyable to read. Negative space. This is my first time reading a story with neo-pronouns, specifically a, and m. Fortunately, adjusting to this is easy, as you can just add a th in front of the pronouns to get traditional. I'll be perfectly honest, this story was grating to read, almost conjuring a visceral aversion to it. Initially I feared this may be caused to some personal ingrained bias, however after examination I believe the cause lies within the structure. I'd like to show a paragraph on screen now which demonstrates the issue. Now if we switch this paragraph out, on change to have traditional non-gendered pronouns, the issue becomes much more apparent. The writing is very mechanical and difficult to read as a result. More descriptors and adjectives would have helped greatly, as the underlying story is absolutely fine. Attack of the Dead Men, an interesting horror take on the real World War I third battle at Oswick Fortress. The author paints a vivid picture setting the stage for visceral action to come. Finally, underpinning the story with an interesting ending, leading to both the character and reader questioning what is real. Without a doubt, a highlight of this anthology, and perfectly suited to short story formats. The Cuff. Former teacher, current drug addict, Matteo is searching for his next fix with questionable company, finding himself the centerpiece of a twisted show for masked observers. Okay, horror with some class elements and socio-political critique. Kelly's Motto. From an unrecognized number, Kelly receives an all-too-familiar noise of ragged breathing. This setup is familiar, yet the slasher film tropes are going to be subverted. Okay, it's okay. Unfortunately, we live in a time where there are more ironic and subversive slashers than traditional ones, so this story does feel a bit played out. However, it's executed fine. The stories within the anthology are mostly fine, with 2 standouts, however the complete lack of common theme amongst them hurts it. I'll be frank, from the title alone I presumed this would be an LGBTQ horror anthology for Pride Month. Little disappointed it wasn't. I rate it 3 out of 5, it's okay. This is coming from someone who generally doesn't like short stories, so if you do, it'll be higher for you.